Right after Georgia's thrilling overtime win over Texas in the 2024 SEC Championship, ESPN's Holly Rowe got with both Gunnar Stockton and Kirby Smart after the game, and things got a little emotional for Kirby Smart. Holly Rowe asked him, "What did you say to Gunnar Stockton at halftime?" telling him he's going to come out and lead the Dogs in the second half, and Kirby Smart said, quote, "I didn't say one word to him. Coach Bobo did. And they believed." And this is where he got emotional. He said, "This kid's a winner. This kid's special. He's a winner." And then he just walked off because any moment right after that, it looked like Kirby Smart was going to start shedding some tears. So he bailed. He got out of there quickly. And then Holly Rowe continued the interview with Gunnar Stockton. But if you're an average Georgia fan watching this, you're probably thinking, I don't remember Kirby Smart shedding a tear for Stetson Bennett or Jake Fromm or Carson Beck. What makes Gunnar Stockton special? Why does Kirby and Mike Bobo and the rest of this team, why do they believe in him so much? Why do they love him so much? Why was he not starting if they feel this way about him? I get all that. In this video, I'm going to be breaking that down. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm going to explain to you why this team and this coaching staff believes he is special and why they are very, very high on him. But in order to do that, you've got to go, way, way back, because this goes farther in time than I think even knowledgeable Georgia fans realize. So I cover recruiting, and high school football in Georgia. So I've been watching Gunnar Stockton throw the ball, and I've been covering him for many, many years now. And you got to remember why the Stocktons and the Bobos, they're very close, right? Family, right? Gunnar Stockton is from Rabun County. And if you didn't know, Mike Bobo's father, George Bobo, is like a quarterback guru, one of the most well-respected quarterback trainers really across the state. And if I have the story correct, I believe I do, Gunnar Stockton has been working with George Bobo since he was a kid. And Gunnar Stockton has just been a winner everywhere he's at. He broke records in the state of Georgia. I still think he may have the passing record all time and the touchdown all time passing record in the state of Georgia. The kid's a winner, right? Kirby Smart's not wrong about that. And the kid loves Georgia. So, they've known the Bobos for a while. And you got to remember, when Georgia signed Carson Beck in the 2020 class and then signed five-star Brock Vandegrift in the 21 class, Gunnar Stockton was kind of looking at other options, and he committed to South Carolina. At the time, South Carolina's offensive coordinator was, exactly, right? It was Mike Bobo. Congratulations. Good work. And so he committed to South Carolina, but story time, right? So he's committed to Carolina, and I remember reaching out to a Georgia staff member because I think Lowndes was coming up to my metro Atlanta area to play a game, and they had kind of offered Ja'Curry Brown, who was a dual threat quarterback at Lowndes. I think he ended up signing with Miami. But I reached out to a Georgia coach. I said, "Hey, do I need to go see Ja'Curry Brown?" And they said, "No, but I'd still keep an eye on Gunnar Stockton." So they knew early on that Gunnar was the guy. They loved his ability to run and throw. Dude's a playmaker. And in high school, I remember, this is Johnny Manziel-like. I mean, the things he was doing on the football field were crazy and fun, and he just had that gamer, that X factor about him. And it looks like Georgia's going to be playing in the Sugar Bowl with Gunnar Stockton. And I don't want to just kind of go over the Carson Beck injury, because I hate it for Carson Beck. I hope that's not the last time we see him in a Georgia uniform. That's not how his story should end. And I still think the best Georgia team is the one with Pete Carson Beck. When Carson Beck is playing at his best, that's when it's the toughest to beat this Georgia team, right? Carson Beck was starting for a reason, but this team, this coaching staff, they absolutely love Gunnar Stockton, not only because of his skill set, but because of his will, his determination, his work ethic. He is a team guy. I mean, he does not talk much at all. I couldn't get a word out of him when I covered him during his recruitment, even though we had a very good feeling that even when he was committed to Carolina, that he would probably end up at Georgia, and he did. But this kid loves the program, and he had no problem sitting almost 3 full years to be the guy. And when it was his turn to step up, I think Kirby said, or Ryan Curley over at Dawg Post, he mentioned it on Riding Home now, the locker room erupted. And when he came out there, even the Georgia crowd was excited to see him, because this is a guy that a lot of Georgia fans have heard about since he was a freshman at Rabun County. Just lit it up as a freshman. And I knew he was working with, I believe it was Tony Ballard, another quarterback kind of guru. So he was fundamentally sound. He knew how to play the position, the footwork, the ability to just make plays. That's what he does. And he's completely different from Carson Beck. So Mike Bobo has got to develop a game plan that fits Gunnar Stockton's style of play. And I'm telling you, if there's anyone who can do it, it's Mike Bobo, whose dad helped train Gunnar Stockton when he was a kid. They are very familiar. Gunnar Stockton committed to South Carolina to play for Mike Bobo. Now they're both in Athens, and they've got 4 weeks to kind of prepare for an offensive game plan around Gunnar Stockton. He can't just sit back there and throw the ball, right? Carson Beck was a pocket passer who was mobile enough to make plays with his feet. Gunnar Stockton's a little different. You have to use him in the run game. He's got to be able to use his legs to open things up, not only for the other running backs, but in the passing game as well. So his skill set is something that I think Georgia fans have been excited to see, and I know that the Georgia staff has full confidence in this kid. But when you see Kirby Smart getting emotional, it's because he is so happy for Gunnar. Again, if Carson Beck can play, I think Carson Beck should play, and I think he will play. This is still his team. But they recruited Gunnar for a reason. They're happy for Gunnar. Again, he's a team guy, and he loves Georgia, and he loves his teammates. He's very close with, Drew Bobo, Oscar Delp, and a lot of guys in that 22 class, and they are so happy for him. Not saying that they're not happy for Carson, because we've seen this team rally around Carson, and Carson rallying around the team. And Carson's a guy that has shown the ability to win games with his arm through the air when the run game is not there. He did it more so last year than this year, but still, dude threw for 5 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions against Tech, no interceptions, and another double-digit win over Tennessee. 2nd year in a row, Carson's done that to the Vols. He was playing better and better, and I know it was kind of a struggle against Texas, even though he didn't have much help. I don't think Carson played bad, but it was really, really tough because I covered him several years in high school too, got to know his family. It was really tough to see him on the ground like that, but I know Gunnar Stockton can get the job done. He can physically do it. I mean, the dude's 220. He will run through you before he runs by you, but he is quick and fast enough to get around the edge and make those plays on the perimeter when he needs to. But he's a guy that you saw on that final play when he almost got his head knocked off. He's quick up the middle, and he can pick up those yards in a hurry, and he can dish out some hits too. He didn't dish out one to that Texas defender, but he was kind of being tackled too, if I just remember the play off the top of my head. He was being tackled, so he wasn't going full, Gunnar Stockton junkyard dog into a defender. He was getting slowed down, and then he got popped and sideways and all that. But what a warrior. And then the staff knows he can do that too. I mean, the guy's eyeballs rolled into the back of his head 3 times as he's falling to the ground. He's got one leg poking out where it shouldn't be. I thought he twisted his leg up in a bad way too on that play, but he held on to the ball. If he loses the ball, fumbles it, Texas recovered, game over, right? Because they took the targeting away. So if he loses that ball, they lose the game. And I'm sure he blacked out for a few seconds after that hit. He's seeing stars, right? He's going into Looney Tune land with the Bugs Bunny and all going on. And he held on to the football. That's because he is a tough, gritty player. And the Georgia staff knows that. I know that. People watching this video, y'all know that. I've been talking about Gunnar Stockton for years. Y'all are the most updated Georgia fans in the world if y'all are listening to this. Y'all have known about Gunnar Stockton's ability to make plays both on the ground and through the air since I've been talking about him early at his Raven County days, right? So y'all have known about him for a long, long time. But to the average fan, I think it may have caught them off guard when Kirby Smart's talking about Gunnar Stockton to millions and millions of college football fans. I almost tried to do a rock impersonation, but maybe one day. I almost kind of want to do it now. I'm going to save it. But man, the 90s wrestling, late 90s, early 2000s, that was such great stuff. Anyway, Gunnar Stockton has the ability to be a terrific, athletic, dual threat quarterback because the guy wins, and they know that. And he showed that determination and that will to win against Texas. Now, he threw that really bad interception, and it wasn't the cleanest game, but when you get thrown in there in the second half, you're down, SEC championship. The season wasn't on the line, but a first-round playoff was, a bye, and the ability to have an easier route to a national championship was on the line, and Gunnar Stockton came through, and it got Kirby Smart emotional. And it was kind of odd to see that, but it shows the love that they have for this guy. And I'm not just saying that, right? I'm not making this up. I've known the whole time that this team has full confidence and the staff has full confidence in Gunnar Stockton, but it's Carson Beck's team, and it should be Carson Beck's team. It wasn't Gunnar's time yet, but now it might be. I think that, without knowing the exact details of the Carson Beck injury, I don't think he's going to play in the Sugar Bowl. Maybe if everything turns out positive, he could be back for the national championship game. But if Gunnar Stockton wins 2 playoff games, he's going to be in the national championship game. He's going to be the guy, and he's got a chance to not only cement himself as a Bulldog legend, he's kind of got one step already in that category with the way he played against Texas in that second half, but he's got a chance to solidify himself as the guy next year too. I think he will be the starter next year, but he can own that job and say, it is mine, with a solid performance in the Sugar Bowl. I still think it's up for grabs, but it looks like Gunnar should be and will be the guy next year. Especially by the way, Kirby and the team reacted to him coming in. They know he can play. I like Puglisi and I like Jane Rashad, but it seems clear that this is going to be Gunnar Stockton's team moving forward if Carson Beck can't come back for the playoffs. But it's Gunnar Stockton's time now, and I just wanted to kind of give an update on why Kirby Smart got a little emotional talking about his backup quarterback. But it's because it goes a long way. This is a long time coming, and I know everyone is very, very happy for Gunnar and his upcoming opportunity to possibly lead Georgia to another national championship. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. We'll have more about this over on Dawg Post. I'll see you on the next video.